All right. So in this episode, we have a special guest. We have Mark. Mark is from the Amp Nation podcast. They're on Twitter at Amped. Oh, shit. Hold on a second. It's, Twitter is at Amp Nation Pod. And you can also follow Mark at Mark Caruso 216. So he was a guest on this show. We talk about the United Airlines fiasco, a few bits of information from Disney, Ring of Honor, and a whole lot of our daily talks and shit and all that stuff that's going on around the world around us. I also wanted to say that our last episode, episode 13, the fight companion for UFC Fight Night 107, I believe, it was the one in Kansas City, had by far the most downloads for a particular episode that we've had thus far. So I wanted to thank all of you for listening. I'm sure most of that was also from you referring us to a friend or a family. All it takes is just, one friend or family member. Hey, look, I listened to Bits for You podcasts. Give them a listen. These guys have fun talking about anything and everything. So we really appreciate that. And another thing we wanted to mention is we are possibly thinking, or actually we're going to be doing a giveaway. Haven't decided yet what it is, but to find out what it is and how you can participate in this giveaway, you have to follow us at our Twitter. So our Twitter handle is at Bits4U podcast. And follow us there, and you'll be updated on what is going to be our future giveaway. Remember, it's at Bits for You podcast. The number 4 after Bits.
Good. Now I don't feel bad because I do the same thing when
it's fucking crazy.
Like you have it all planned out and then you just fuck up.
Yeah, you just have a fucking brain fart. All right, so this is Robert here with Javier, and we have a guest today from the Amp Nation podcast, Mark Caruso.
Yes, sir. Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for having me.
Hey, you're welcome. So we'll get to a few things. We'll go into more detail about Mark and what he does later on. I wanted to start off with this whole United Airlines fiasco that happened last week. That shit was fucking crazy. What happened with that guy getting taken off the airplane. Javier, what do you have to say about that? Or do you know much about it?
Yeah, I heard about that. There's a bunch of memes or memes, whatever how you pronounce that. And people make a lot of fun of it. I seen I just today, I think it was this morning I saw someone post a picture of a new Lego set, and in the front cover, they show the plane and stuff, United, and they show you 2 kids, and the 2 kids are having playing with the little Lego guys, and they're kicking out that passenger and blooding him up. So people are having a lot of fun with it, and obviously United is getting shitted on by everybody.
Their stocks were going down almost constantly that last week.
Yeah, I think the day of, it went down quite a bit. I forget how much. I think it was pretty significant.
Yeah. So that guy basically turned they were going to give him $800 plus a free hotel stay if he would have gotten off from his seat. But he refused. So he turned $800 into an $8 million lawsuit.
Isn't he a doctor?
I don't know. I know he's 69 years old. That's
I
all
thought
I know.
I thought I read that he was a doctor or something like that.
I didn't read that far. Like as you mentioned, the memes were the things that were cracking me up last week.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, they're shitted on right now. I don't know how many people actually would buy airline tickets from them now.
I don't know.
They're probably really cheap at the moment.
Probably. Yeah. I don't. I think I've flown United. I've flown mostly in the last 3 years a lot, and I think I've flown United once in those 3 years. I don't remember much about the experience though. Certainly, I wasn't kicked off the airplane. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy my LA tickets here probably today. So
You should go with
I'll look for
you should
United.
go with United. I'm sure they're desperate for people to fly on their. And Javier, what is it that you wanted to talk to me about?
I have some news about Disney. A few things about Disney actually. So one of the big things that came out from last week was a rumor about Apple wanting to buy Disney. When I say rumor, this is people in Wall Street talking about the potential of it happening. Mm-hmm. Apple nor Disney has said anything about this. And the reason this all started because Apple has a lot of cash in stock right now. They mostly stock their cash overseas.
Right. And
Trump is about to allow some kind of tax holiday for companies. I think they're about to bring it over and do some mergers and acquisitions. And Apple has said that they are interested in doing mergers and acquisitions. So Apple has about $250 billion in cash.
Right.
The thing about Disney, considering they also have some kind of premium attached, Disney will be worth about $270 billion. So it would take a few years to close out, but it's possible. Not sure if it actually will happen or not. When I say not sure, I mean this is just would Apple actually do it? It's a lot of money. That's basically using up all their stocked up cash, and that's to me even that's risky.
This came about Apple reaching out to Disney. Is that how you came across this?
No. This is just Wall Street. People on Wall Street talking because of the whole tax break that's going to about to happen, mm-hmm. and also the fact that Steve Jobs' widow, forget her name, mm-hmm. Journalism right there, but she has a lot of stake in Disney, like a lot.
Yeah.
So that's another reason for the connection.
I read a biography on Steve Jobs. I don't remember what it was called. And when I was reading it, Steve Jobs in the 80s, he helped, his company helped create Pixar. So when they created Pixar, that's how Steve Jobs' partnership with Apple started. Disney. But I know that they go far. They go back, since the 80s.
Yeah, they have history. She has stake in the company. They have a stockpile of money there. I guess I could see it, but it's not Apple or Disney saying it. Disney never said they were for sale. Nothing like that. So just people talking.
Just based off of that, I saw that the other day too, and I thought it was crazy that like somebody would even try to buy Disney. But I went last summer. We took my daughter, and just in parking alone, I was so amazed because I haven't been there in years, and like just to park one single car is like $30-something, and it's more if you have like a truck or a bus and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I was trying to do the math, and like just between the people that were there, entry fees and stuff, that they got to make like millions of dollars a day just in park fees and parking alone. So to think like $200 billion or 270, I heard you say, that seems really low to me. I would think Disney's worth way more than that. Especially when you add in like ABC and ESPN and the Marvel stuff that they have.
Yeah, alone in Marvel, what is it? They release let's say 3 movies a year, and let's say that 3 of them make $1 billion. That's $3 billion plus everything else that you just mentioned. I was thinking closer to $500 billion.
Mm-hmm.
But that's still a high amount at 270.
Yeah, I did the math just for the parking, and when I went there it was $20, but obviously when you got a bigger car, it's more money. But let's just say every car that parked there was just $20 fee, and I know they can fill up to about 15,000 people in the parking lot, mm-hmm. About 15,000 cars. And they make $300,000 on parking alone.
So think, and then $300,000. That's just for your car. That's just the small cars. Yeah. If you're doing 4 people in a car paying $100 a piece to get in, that's $400. You're talking $450 a car. before you even did anything. That's not food, shirts, and all the stuff that the kids got to buy.
Yeah, the entrance is $100. That's merchandise. You're right. It's they generate a lot of money just off of the theme parks.
This is off the top of my head. This is probably like 3 years ago. There was a special on TV about what they make alone in merchandise. Just in merchandise alone, like toys, shirts, everything like that. Disney in 1 year alone, this is like maybe 3 years ago, they made over 10 billion in merchandise alone.
Mm-hmm.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, crazy. I mean, Disney is really well known for churning out that merchandise. And actually, we were talking about the parks. The next 2 bits of news about Disney is about their parks. Mm-hmm. So if you've been to Hollywood Studios, which is part of Disney World, right, in Orlando, they are been doing a lot of construction. So they have planned 2 additional expansions. So the first expansion, which is the one closest to being done, that one is Toy Story Land. Now that one's being estimated to open early 2018. It's going to be about 11 acres, and there's been a few rides mentioned. Actually, like 2 of them I'm aware of. One of them is a roller coaster based off the Slinky dog. I forget his name. And then the other one is
Slink.
Slink, there you go. And then one kind of based off the Claw, but they're kind of like the twirly, whirling kind of rides. And if you go online and look up Disney parks, they're going to have a blog entry about it, and you'll see a picture of the design. There's even a YouTube video of the roller coaster, how it would, how a ride would be in the roller coaster. Actually, I'll post that on Twitter tonight, and people could look it up. And the other part is the Star Wars land. That was announced, I think, recently. I think this is the Star Wars convention.
Yeah, on Friday at the convention they had.
Right, and that's going to be 14 acres. Obviously, they haven't announced any rides, but they planned. They're doing some serious planning. They're getting Lucasfilm involved for this part of the park. They're going to make some new entries into the Star Wars universe as well.
Yes, and, I was reading about that. They're adding. It's going to be part of the series canon.
Yeah, so they're spending some serious money on Hollywood Studios for in Disney World.
When do you know when that park is going to be completed? Did they announce it?
Disney, Star Wars? Yeah. So I said Toy Story was early 2018. They're saying Star Wars is 2019.
Oh damn! That's going to be when the episode 9. Well, episode 9 should be releasing around December of that year. If they go with December releases, I think they are going to stick to December releases for the movies.
Yeah, probably, and it's gonna by that point they've released only a bunch of them and make a bunch of money off of it, obviously.
Yeah.
So that's another movie that Disney has the rights to. We didn't even include with the 3 Marvel movies.
That's right. I completely forgot about that until you just mentioned it. And what, the last one made $1 billion? Well, actually both. The Rogue One made I think $1 billion, and the Force Awakens made $1 billion and change.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
When they bought Star Wars, it was worth $1 billion, wasn't it?
No, they paid for Lucasfilm $4 billion.
That was 4.
Yeah, dude, they've already surpassed that. If you include the Star Wars merchandise that Disney has had control since 2012, since they bought the Star Wars universe. Shit.
Are you guys big Star Wars fans?
Hell yeah. Yeah. And they also included with the Star Wars rights. It included Indiana Jones as well, which they've mentioned here and there that they're going to work on an Indiana Jones movie, but they've been quiet about that for the past year.
They're sitting on more money right there.
Exactly.
So yeah, this is an exciting part for Disney there. I've been to Hollywood Studios a few times. You can tell it's missing because obviously there's like a ton of land here. I'm talking about 11 and 14, 25 acres of land, just under construction basically.
Yeah, and don't they have the Avatar park opening up this year?
It's opening up
in May.
Yeah, it's opened up in May. It's going to be in Animal Kingdom. I was in Animal Kingdom during WrestleMania weekend, and I didn't really catch a spot where they were doing construction for it. So I have no idea what they're doing with that.
Maybe it's closed off or something.
Yeah, because when you're in Hollywood Studios, you can tell. Yeah, they're doing some major construction here. But in Animal Kingdom, I didn't really spot it. So really curious to see what they do with it. So I guess in other news would be about this new segment I want to do about wrestling, which is going to be so every week, or not every week, but every podcast, which is about every week, we're going to discuss a promotion that's not WWE and explain what it is, how is it different, and what they specialize in. So, in this week, I wanted to cover Ring of Honor.
Yes, I was just about to ask you.
Right, I specifically picked Ring of Honor because I listened to your latest podcast, Mark, on App Nation.
Okay.
And you guys did talk about the Supercard that you went to.
Oh, it was fantastic.
Can you briefly talk? Because that was your first time, right?
Yeah, I've seen Ring of Honor here and there. I know some of the bigger names that have been involved with it. Like Daniel Bryan over the years. And I always say I'm going to check it out. I'm going to check it out. I never did. And then when I found out I was coming down to Florida for WrestleMania, my friend lives down there in Tampa. So I said, let's go to what are you doing Saturday night? We don't have any plans. So we bought tickets for $25. We sat up in the second level. I probably could have paid $50 a piece and sat down in the lower level though. But I was like, I don't really know anybody except for the Hardys. I don't know what to expect. I don't know how good it's going to be. So for $25, what the hell? Let's go.
Right.
When I tell you I would have spent $200 on those tickets and we would have got our money's worth, I'm not lying. It was by far, and I go to Raw every time it's up near me. I've been to a couple pay-per-views. I've been to WrestleMania now. Ring of Honor Supercard 11, I think it was the best show I've ever seen live on TV, anything. Every single match, when I tell you, like, I couldn't even get up to go to the bathroom because I was like, I'm afraid I'm going to miss something. The super kicks were out of control. I mean, every single guy was getting his head kicked off with the super kicks. I was amazed.
Young Bucks.
Yeah, the Young Bucks and the Hardys match, it's hands down the best match I've ever seen. I know a lot of people love the Hardys match when they were with against Edge and Christian and the Dudley Boys, but I think this one blew that out of the water. And it's a shame because a lot of people don't even know about it. It was like every 5 minutes someone would climb up the ladder and then fall from the ladder down to the floor. On WWE, you might see that like twice a year, maybe. It was an amazing show, and I want to start watching it. And I actually, since I started listening to you guys, I heard you mention that you listened to Ring of Honor. So I was going to ask you, or you watch Ring of Honor, sorry. I was going to ask you how you go about that because I can't seem to find it anywhere other than the internet. I didn't know if there was another way to do it or not.
I was going to ask Javier the same thing. How can we watch Ring of Honor?
Yeah, so I watch it weekly on my TV. So it's owned by Sinclair, and they own several like local stations. Mm-hmm. And I watch it in the local station here in Dallas. I think it's like Channel 4 or something. But it's on like Saturday afternoon. So I DVR and watch it later on. But another way to watch it is if you download the Fight app, FITE. They have their weekly episodes there. I think it's every Monday for free.
Oh, it's free.
Yeah, the only thing that costs
it right now.
Yeah, the app is free, and the weekly ROH show on it is free, which is what you see on TV.
Okay.
And I have not watched any of the pay-per-views because that's under a paywall. I mean, behind a paywall, like old style, like you have to pay $30-40 for pay-per-view kind of thing. I've always caught like a match here on YouTube or something, but I've gone to a few of their shows. I've gone to 2 live shows for ROH so far. The first one I went to was they were doing a VOD for Survival of the Fittest. Survival of the Fittest is just basically a big tournament, and I think you got a TV title shot. Or was it an actual world title shot? I can't remember. I was there because I was only there for day 1. Day 2 was in Austin, Texas, so I didn't see who. I knew Bobby Fish won, but I didn't know beyond that. I think he did get a title shot. So anyways, and then the second show I went to was crazy. It had the Young Bucks versus the Briscoe brothers, and that was insane.
Yeah.
And so a lot of the wrestlers there, as you could tell, it's in indie style, as it's very exciting. Selling is not. It takes a back seat. They're selling, but it doesn't. It's not. There's just a lot of action. That's what happens.
Yeah. But
you get some technical stuff like Bobby Fish. He's very technical. Actually, there's another one, Kyle O'Reilly, but he left. They have a few, and Christopher Daniels right now is their current ROH World Champion. And the Young Bucks are, once again, as you just saw on the Supercard, are the World Tag Team Champions again. And I think they also they made some title up, the Super Kick title. They have that back.
Javier,
when you just talk about the Young Bucks real quick.
Yeah,
what was your question, Robert?
No, I was going to ask you, how is it when you've gone? You've gone a few times in Texas. How's the atmosphere there? Is it very exciting? Are people just more relaxed, or are people like going full out insane watching these matches?
The first one, the last match, people went crazy for it. The other things, people liked it, but wasn't like super into it. I think this is a bunch of guys we didn't know, because there was a bunch of Mexican wrestlers there. Because they do have a working partnership with CMLL, which is the oldest wrestling promotion I think on the planet, and then they also have a working relationship with New Japan, which is another promotion I watch a lot.
And where do you watch New Japan?
They take their young boys, huh?
Where do you watch New Japan?
They air. Well, I'll talk a lot more about maybe New Japan maybe next week.
Okay, gotcha.
But
I'm sorry, I'm jumping the gun. I don't want to do that.
I'll just mention it's on Access TV.
Okay.
And then they have their own subscription app, which is called New Japan World. Anyways, back to what I was talking about, the Young Bucks. Yeah, that to me right now they're the hottest tag team, and they've been the hottest tag team for quite a while. I'm well aware that they make a ton of merchandise, which is one reason WWE would have trouble picking them up, because they probably make WWE money, and I don't know if WWE's willing to pay them WWE money, and pretty good WWE money, to be honest, because they don't have to work as much.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Like I say, they work once a month for ROH, unless there's a house show or something they do, but they don't work that much for Ring of Honor, and then they do New Japan tours, and then any dates here and there. What were you saying?
I actually listened to a podcast that has a bunch of like these indie guys on, and I actually heard of the Young Bucks. I mean, I've heard their name, but I heard them on the episode one time, and they were on for like probably 45 minutes just talking about stuff. And the guy asked them, would you ever go to WWE, or what would have to happen to make you go to WWE? And their first thing was, we make so much money from our merchandise that it wouldn't even be worth it for us to go to WWE, because they're going to take that right from them. Right. And then they would probably change their characters. So, like, you don't get to be who you want. Okay. You'd have to work more days, like you mentioned. They said they work 2 days a week sometimes. And, they get to spend time with their family, and they're making a kill. Like, they're not hurting for money at all.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah, I forget the amount. They make several thousands a month just off merchandise. But I forget, it was 10,000 or 100,000, but it was something crazy like that. If you go to Pro Wrestling Tees, which is a popular website for a lot of wrestlers to sell their merchandise, you'll see Young Bucks and Kenny Omega and the Bullet Club. They're basically the top selling merchandise every single month. So they definitely make a killing off merchandise. And New Japan is also paying them. New Japan is basically number 2 in the world, and they could pay you pretty well. They do have wrestlers that make 7 figures there.
That's crazy. But can I ask you a question about the Bullet Club?
Sure.
Is there like 10,000 people in the Bullet Club? Because when we were at the show, it seemed like every single match it was like somebody from ROH versus a group of people in the Bullet Club. I've heard of it, and I only really know it because of AJ Styles and Finn Balor, and then the club that came over. But I don't really know too much else about it. But it seemed like there were so many people in there.
Yeah, I can tell you something about Bullet Club, because Bullet Club is obviously in ROH, but Bullet Club is actually owned by New Japan.
Okay.
So Bullet Club started in Japan, and ROH has wrestlers in the Bullet Club. They have a work relationship with New Japan, like I just mentioned.
Right.
And so Bullet Club in ROH, you have Adam Cole. He's in it. The Young Bucks. The Young Bucks are like original members of Bullet Club. Kenny Omega's not in ROH. He's in New Japan. He's made a lot of news lately because of his match with Okada. But Kenny Omega is considered the leader of the Bullet Club, and him and the Young Bucks are considered the elite of the Bullet Club. So when you hear something about the Bullet Club and the elite is the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega. Then you also have trying to remember, Hangman Page. He's in the Bullet Club as well.
Yep.
Trying to remember who else in ROH is in it.
Isn't Cody Rhodes in it? I know he's not strictly ROH, but
I think he is. He goes around, but he's in ROH a lot actually.
Right. Oh, okay.
Actually, when I went to the second house show, he was there. Yeah, he's the American Dream or the American Nightmare now.
Yeah, his shirt is badass too.
Yeah, here's another shirt that sells really well. Yeah, he's in it. He's been in one New Japan match that I'm aware of. It's kind of weird. I can't remember who else in ROH is in it. Cody Rhodes.
I forget all the big names that I saw wrestle, but like as you mentioned them, I'm like, oh yeah, that guy was there. But I know there was quite a few.
Yeah, in New Japan, you have Bad Luck Fale. He's a huge guy. You have I think they're called the Gorillas of Destruction. Or is it God?
Oh, yeah. Well, they're called God, I think, but they're the Gorillas of Destruction or something.
Right. They're in New Japan. I don't think they ever appeared in ROH before.
They were at the show, the Supercard show.
Oh, there you go. That's why. So they're from New Japan.
You guys already mentioned the Gorillas of Destiny?
Yeah.
Okay.
Belak Fale, Kenny Omega, Young Bucks. Scott Hall's son was in it, but he left, which is Cody Hall.
Okay.
That's what I think of the top of my head. I think I'm forgetting somebody still.
I'm gonna have to do some research and
current?
start watching this.
Yeah, this is a Japanese guy. He's the only Japanese guy in the.
Yojiro Takahashi is current.
Yeah, it's the Tokyo Pimp. I know that. I forget his name.
Tangaroa. I don't know if he's Japanese or Tama Tonga.
Oh, that's part of that.
They were at the ROH show.
Yeah, that's the Gorillas of Destruction.
Yeah.
Him and his brother. They're related to The Rock. Was that related to The Rock? Yeah.
Oh, are they really? I know they were trained by the Dudleys because that was like the big promo that they cut about how Dudley, what's his name, Bubba Ray and Devon trained him, and then like now he had to face them in a match.
They're the sons of Haku.
That's right. Yep.
So, just about every Samoan is related to The Rock except Samoa Joe.
Just about, or if it's not related, he knows them.
Right.
No, like seriously, the only Samoan I'm aware of that it's in wrestling and not related to The Rock is Samoa Joe.
Is the guy that has Samoa in his name.
Yeah. Yeah. Back to this list of champions, and Marty Scurll is the world television champion for ROH. He won the Battle of Los Angeles tournament in PWG. He got a lot of recognition from that. He has a spot where he gets your hand and snaps like two of your fingers. It looks really brutal, and I don't know how he actually does it.
Oh, it sounds brutal in person too.
Yeah, I remember I showed the coach. I showed him. I was watching ROH that week, and he finally like debuted, and I showed him that part, and he's like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah, when he came out, I was like, "Bro," I was like, "He really just broke his fingers." I was like, "There's no way you can fake that sound."
He does it almost in every single match. I don't know how he does it. And then they have a 6-man tag team championship.
Yep.
This feels a bit of a copy from New Japan because they do that too. But he has Bully Ray and the Briscoes. And as you mentioned it, Mark, earlier, there's been a bunch of people from ROH that's had success in WWE. Two to come to mind quickly is Daniel Bryan and Seth Rollins.
Yep. But
you also mentioned AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, CM Punk. No, I'm forgetting a lot more. If you just look it up, you'll see a bunch of talent that came from there. So they are considered kind of more of a super indie. Because in America, they basically are number 2. They do have also, I think they still have a spot in the Destination America. It's a cable channel. TNA used to be there as well.
Yeah, but that channel now mostly gives like haunting shows and ghost shows and stuff like that.
I think Ring of Honor is still there. That's not how I watch it though, but I think they're still on that channel. But yeah, they have their own weekly programming that's on TV, or you can watch on one of the apps for free, which is the Fight app, and then
So, are
They
you able
tour.
to watch past episodes on there?
I haven't tried to watch past episodes. I would assume so.
Okay.
I know you have to, for the pay-per-views, you have to go through that, and
Right.
some cable providers also carry their pay-per-views. Although there was that drama with TNA and ROH over the Hardys.
How often do they have a pay-per-view?
Yeah, they blocked one of their pay-per-views being shown because TNA says they own the Hardy Boken gimmick.
Right.
And that scared away the cable company, and they didn't show it. I forget which cable company. I think it was like Dish Network or something. But anyways, yeah. So I would consider the number 2. They tour. People go to their house shows. They have pay-per-views. They have weekly TV shows. They're on several channels. The only one who's even close to them in America would be TNA, and they've been suffering a lot lately. So that's what I would say about Ring of Honor. Anything else you'd like to add about them?
I just real quick. You asked about how the crowd was, and I don't know if this was every show or if it because this was like their big WrestleMania type show. The crowd that was there was nuts. I mean, people were chanting every single time. You didn't mention this, but every time somebody would get into the ring, they would throw a shit ton of streamers into the ring, like so much to the point that I had to like Google it and find out what the hell was going on because I didn't know why these people kept throwing streamers in the ring.
Yeah, that is another thing that makes them different from WWE. That is a Japanese wrestling thing. If you watch a bunch of Japanese, New Japan, they don't do it. But if you watch something like Stardom, actually, I failed to mention that they also have a working relationship with Stardom. Okay. Stardom is a Japanese women's wrestling company. Like when I watch Stardom, they're throwing the streamers in every match. I think just about every other Japanese promotion probably does that. That's the 2 real Japanese promotions I watch: is Stardom and New Japan. But I'm aware that's where the origin is from. About that's from. So usually people throw streamers when wrestlers come out and they pose in the ring, kind of to I guess appreciation for your favorite wrestler. And I think the other thing is this: they don't sell much. It's very exciting, lots of action. They do tend to pull. They're also kind of known for pulling in the best indie workers. Basically, anybody who's not in WWE tends to show up in ROH at some point. And I forgot to mention one more thing too. They have their own division called Women of Honor. I've watched a few of those matches. Women of Honor is on YouTube. They did show it once weekly in the TV show, the local channel I watch.
Right.
I think they only showed it that week because there was a pay-per-view, and they didn't have a taping for that. But Women of Honor does have their matches posted on YouTube, so you can catch them there. And they do have actually a lot of great women wrestlers here too. Some not so great, but compared to ROH, which is just everybody in the card is basically seasoned and knows what they're doing. So I would highly recommend Ring of Honor when it comes to an alternative to WWE in America. That's basically the next go-to. And I think that's what I would say to wrap up Ring of Honor. Unless I have missed something else still.
I got nothing else.
Okay. Yeah.
What about as far as WWE news? Any updates on that you want to mention?
I think last time we talked about it, the Superstar Shakeup started.
Uh-huh.
So we have in SmackDown, we have Nakamura, AJ Styles. It's funny, I can't remember the big name.
Kevin Owens.
Right, Kevin Owens.
Did you say him?
No, I did not.
So going to SmackDown, you had Kevin Owens, Charlotte Flair, New Day, Rusev, Sami Zayn. That's probably what you're thinking of.
Yeah,
and then the rest are all like minor people.
Yeah. And Raw got Bray Wyatt and Dean Ambrose and a bunch of other smaller guys too. Didn't they get one of the tag teams?
They got Heath Slater and Rhino.
That's right.
Which doesn't sound like much, but they were actually getting it off on SmackDown. Like the crowds were actually cheering for them.
Yeah, they were the first SmackDown tag team champions.
Yep.
Well, the new tag titles. And I like them a lot too. And I love Rhino, and Heath Slater has been there for so long, and you don't really use them that much, except to job once in a while. But this tag team division really helped them out. And I really like that team. I wish they spent time on them again. They were, like you said, they were getting cheered a lot. So actually, I hope they do use them pretty well. I know.
I was gonna say, so do I. I actually I've always hated Heath Slater, but I hope he gets a fair shot on Raw. But I can see him already. They're gonna get buried and they're gonna be forgotten about.
I hope not. Actually, the Revival, kind of fresh news. One of the members of the Revival, which came from NXT to Raw, they I think it was Scott Dawson. He's injured. He's out for a few months.
Oh, wow.
So that frees up some space in the tag team division in Raw.
There you go. Maybe, so it might work out after all.
Yeah, I mean it's sad, but someone else.
Right.
So yeah, wrestling is for WWE. That's kind of exciting, and I think the other major news is actually I can't even think of anything. And we already talked about the Undertaker retiring, and
so we can talk about it again. Mark, what did you think about witnessing the Undertaker retire?
Oh man, well, I'm glad I was there for it. It's something that I'll always remember. That's for sure. One of my best friends is a huge Undertaker fan, and he's been saying every year he's like, oh, he's got 5-6 years left, and every year I'm like, dude, any match could be his last. I'm like, he's that's somebody's grandpa wrestling, out there throwing his body around, and I mean he looks slow, and you can see that it's starting to catch up to him. So it's sad, of course. That's somebody's been wrestling since I was 2-3 years old. But I'm glad to see him go out on his own terms and kind of. I know he lost, but he's quitting. He's not, or he's retiring, not quitting. I don't want to say that, but it was much more emotional than I thought it would be. When the match was over, I was just like, all right, whatever. I was like, let's get out of here. And we started to walk down, and then he got back in the ring and took his stuff off and everything. I started to tear up a little. I'm sure with all the other grown-ass men in the building that were about to cry.
You probably were not the only one. Yeah, but you're not the only one.
Yeah. So we were actually, like I said, we were on our way down from our seats, and then we saw it going on. I was like, no, let's just stick it out. Let's see what happens. I was like, oh, man. I was like, we got to go. I need tissues now. But I'm glad I could see it, though. So it's like I said, not everybody got to be a part of that live.
Yeah, actually, I consider him one of the top 3 wrestlers for me. Sometimes he's my favorite. I tend to go between Mick Foley and him a lot in terms of favorite wrestler. But yeah, I think Undertaker had a hell of a career. Mm-hmm. Obviously, he's gone through a lot. He's getting his other hip replaced now. So basically, both his hips have been replaced. Both sides of it, and he can't even do remember he used to do old school. He hasn't done it in a while. He just can't no more. And
you could definitely see he's struggling. So
yeah, that's what to say. You see him struggling in the matches lately. He only wrestles once a year. I mean, it takes a lot out of you, but it was time to call it quits for him. And sad to see him go. And actually, Robert, you were there for the WrestleMania 24.
Right, in the same stadium.
Yeah, when Ric Flair retired.
Yep.
So that's 2 retirements in that.
2 retirements in that arena. Yeah.
Sure. Oh. So can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
From what I've listened to on your podcast, I kind of get the hint that Robert's not really a wrestling fan.
Yes.
Why is that?
No, it's not that. We mentioned it in one of the, I think it was episode 10. Javier, I used to watch that a lot, weekly. I would go to Javier's house when Javier used to live in Florida, and he's obviously now in Texas. So when he used to live in Florida, it was every week, right, Javier? Every pay-per-view we would watch. We would, go over and either find a place to watch it or go to his house and we would order it and we would watch it.
Okay.
Yeah, we even had another friend, Jay, who would watch it with us too.
Yeah, we had a couple people watching with us. Almost mostly us 3 though. And then he knew always. He was always the biggest fan. He would fill me in on stuff, and I would follow it here and there, with him. But once he left, I joked about it. Yeah, I fell out of it because I just it's not the same.
Gotcha. You know what's funny though? That's what my one friend Sebastian that hosts my podcast with me.
Right.
He always says it's so corny now. It's not the same as it used to be. So when we were younger, I was really into WCW, and I started watching the Monday Night Nitro episodes that are on the network.
Right. And
it's literally the same corny ass shit. you thought it was so much cooler because you were 5 or 6 or 10 years old, and and now I'm 30, so it's I'm looking at it, I'm like, That's so stupid. But it's literally the same stupid shit that it was, 25 years ago.
Exactly, and so for this WrestleMania that just happened a few weeks ago, I hadn't seen a WrestleMania since the last one that I was there, which was 2000 and what was it, 2009 or 2008? 2008. It was 2008. So it had been that long, 9 years since I seen a WrestleMania or a pay-per-view. And watching it, I had the WWE Network app, and watching it live again, I'm like, okay, not much has changed.
Right, exactly.
Not much has changed. Just a bunch of new faces, which I don't even know who the fuck they were, but it was still fun. It was still entertaining. So I got, that nostalgic came back. So I was like, okay, this is why I used to watch it. But it's just, I just don't have the time anymore. You have to invest a lot of time.
Yeah, it is a lot of time consuming.
Yeah, like Robert used to watch it towards the tail end of the Attitude Era and then the Ruthless Aggression Era.
Okay.
I forget when in Ruthless Aggression era. Did you watch Brock Lesnar, Robert?
Yes, I did. I saw when he first was introduced, all the way up until I'd say the last time I ever watched a wrestling thing. Was like around late 2008, early 2009. Then when they did that whole in 2010, Hulk Hogan was doing that month. He was in TNA, I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I started watching both of them because they were like competing with each other. Like they were having wrestlers that hadn't been wrestling for a while come on WWE, then on TNA. So I was doing that back and forth for a while, and then after a while, I just stopped.
Gotcha.
Yeah, wrestling nowadays is very time consuming. If you just watch WWE and that's it, you have Raw on Mondays, which is 3 hours. Then you have 2 hours of SmackDown on Tuesday.
Right.
Yep.
After SmackDown, you have 205 Live, which is 1 hour. Wednesdays, you have NXT for 1 hour. And then they have other smaller things, but in terms of wrestling. And then on a Sunday, they would have a pay-per-view, which is about 3 hours.
Right.
And now they do, unless that month has a major pay-per-view, like Royal Rumble or WrestleMania or SummerSlam, they have 2 pay-per-views a month. One for each brand.
SmackDown. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and don't they have other programming on the app as well?
Yeah, other stuff is... Yeah, it's not actually wrestling, but I mentioned just the wrestling portion of it.
It's like a reality show or something like that. I've seen a few of that.
Right, and then like I feel like I get too consumed sometimes because I'm like, all I watch is wrestling. Because besides watching Raw, I do admit I DVR it and fast forward through a lot of it. I probably watched an hour of Raw. SmackDown is good enough. I watch most of it, but I still DVR'd and I skipped commercials. And then I watched Stardom, which is not really a weekly show, but it's just wrestling. There's no commentating on it.
Right.
I watched that. I'm subscribed to that. The Stardom World. New Japan, which airs a new episode. There are 1 or 2 episodes on Friday nights. That's an hour each episode. ROH has a 1 hour episode weekly.
So you don't have time for anything else but wrestling on TV.
Lately I've cut out Impact Wrestling because the Hardys left. I did not care anymore.
Do you even watch anything that's non-wrestling related on TV?
No, I told myself
because you don't have any fucking time for that.
Yeah, no, that's all my TV time, and then it's like that.
For me, it's the opposite. For me, it's shows that I watch either on Netflix or on HBO that are not wrestling related, and even then, I have my DVR full of like, I think we talked about it in a previous podcast. The last 6 episodes of The Walking Dead, I just kind of like lost interest in The Walking Dead. I'm like, maybe one day I'll watch it, and I'm like backed up in so many other shows. There's no fucking time for that shit.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to go back to some regular TV. To be honest, I watched like Iron Fist actually, and This Is Us. That's because I watched it with my fiance.
I was gonna say This Is Us is like way out.
Yeah, that's like way on the other.
No, that's just me trying to watch something that she likes, basically.
Gotcha, I gotcha.
I do think it's okay. Sometimes I feel it's a little too well written.
Mm.
But
why don't you watch this show with your fiance, Santa Clarita Diet? It's on Netflix.
You gotta text me to remind me.
Have
Maybe
you
I'll
heard of
try to
it?
watch that.
You know what it's about?
No, I have no idea.
Drew Barrymore's in it. Timothy Oliphant plays her husband. Drew Barrymore. It's just in the trailer, so it's not giving much away. So Drew Barrymore dies, comes back as a zombie, but she looks normal. She looks human. She doesn't look like a zombie. Like her skin is not rotting away or anything like that. So the point of the main plot of the show is that she gets hungry, so she has to go out and figure out who she's gonna eat, like every episode. I don't want to give too much away, but it's funny. Yeah, it's a lot better to me. It's better than this current season of The Walking Dead.
So, I guess besides all the TV talk here, what about some video game news?
Yes.
So we had the Nintendo Direct. We had, I think Mark picked up the latest Rainbow Six game.
No, not Rainbow Six. Tom Clancy's Wildlands, Ghost Recon. It's not.
Oh, okay.
Is it Ghost Recon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about actually talk about that a little bit, and then I'll talk about the Nintendo Direct.
Yeah. So Mark, how's the Ghost Recon Wildlands so far?
It's long. It's a very long game, especially if you're playing by yourself, which I am. I don't really have my one friend that I usually play with. Just switched to Xbox, so I'm kind of solo on this. It's if anybody's played Division, it's basically the Division, but in the jungle instead of in New York City. But I mean, it's cool. It's you're chasing around the cartel. I tried to play the other day with multiplayer,
right?
Because there's an achievement you have to do, like 3 missions with other people to get it. So I was like, fuck it, let me do this real quick and knock this one out.
Right.
The worst idea I've ever had. It's straight chaos because nobody wants to you can't work together, or you can work together, but the people don't want to work together. So you're like trying to sneak up on this one place and you got to go like undetected, and then this guy flies a helicopter right into the middle of the level and blows the whole thing.
That reminds me.
It's
my brother was briefly playing it with my other brother, and he was complaining. My youngest brother is my roommate. He was complaining that my other brother was fucking around. He was like, "I need you to get over here." And he's like, "No, I don't." And they were just like, it was chaos. And these are just brothers, like in total chaos, playing that game multiplayer. And they were briefly texting me today in the group chat. They were like, Robert, you should get it." So I'm thinking about getting it because they say it's very fun, especially the multiplayer. And I think he mentioned there's a co-op on it.
Okay.
Is it?
I don't know about that.
Do you know about the co-op play or no?
I've only played online a little bit, like I said, because I was trying to get that achievement, and then I got right off because the people I was playing with were driving me fucking nuts.
So, would you say it's better than the Division?
The storyline is, I think, the storyline I'm more intrigued by. Every time you complete like a certain percentage of it, you basically get like a video of the leader of the cartel, and he gives you a whole monologue about how shit's falling down around him. With the Division, I felt like you were just kind of going, and you just had to build your base of operations, and then that was it.
Right.
So I mean, I'm much more invested in this one. I've obviously played it a lot more than I have the Division when it first came out, but I mean, it's a lot of fun. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, just the people I was playing with were such idiots. Like we were all in the helicopter and we're flying to the one location, and it takes forever because the map's so big.
Right.
And this one guy just jumps off, and I was like, "Oh, what an asshole!" And then like the helicopter starts circling out of control. Well, here it was the guy piloting the helicopter jumped out and left us there. So now I jumped off right before it died. So now, because I jumped off too late, I died. So now I'm stuck in the mountains. You got to wait 50 seconds or whatever it is for somebody to come revive you. Which, when you're playing solo, your computer guys come get you no matter where you are. These guys were all the way across the map still. I was like, this is too much. Let me finish these missions. I'm getting off. I said, I can't play with these people.
See, that sounds like fun. If I do end up getting it, because my brothers are trying to convince me to get it, then maybe we'll all 4 of us will help each other out. Multiplayer.
Yeah, let me know.
And then,
you know what it reminds me of? When you play on Call of Duty and you play on like a hardcore mode,
right? And
you have the one guy in the back that shoots the rocket launcher and kills everybody as soon as the match starts. That's what it was like. That's the kind of chaos.
Holy shit, that's crazy. I'm trying to convince Javier to get on it, but Javier is very against playing multiplayer.
No, I love multiplayer. I hate paying for it.
So you're going to be paying for it soon on the Nintendo Switch, I hear.
Yeah, but I heard it's like gonna be like $20 a year or something, not
20,
60 or
yeah,
70,
it's
whatever.
like $25 or $30 a year.
We'll see. I'm not even convinced I'll be doing that anyway.
So what do you have? PlayStation? You just don't play for the you don't pay for the what's it called?
All he does
you just play.
all he does is single player on the PlayStation 4.
Okay.
Yeah, the PSN Plus. I don't do that. I have PS4, and I have Nintendo Wii U, and which I guess I'm about to phase that out. I have Nintendo Switch, and I have PC. So if I want to play multiplayer, an example, I bought Doom on PC. If I want to play the multiplayer Doom, I just play it in multiplayer. I don't have to pay or anything. I could play that game on my computer just fine.
Right.
So for games like that, I'm not going to buy it in the PS4. I'm going to buy it on PC and play it online for free. Because I don't feel like I would. I don't feel like I'll make that the value of paying for that and playing it as much as I would like. I don't think I'll get enough value out of it. Like even for PS4, right now I'm playing The Last Guardian. That's not online, and I'm going to be playing that for the next month or so. You know, I'm not going to even use that month's worth of online play. And before that, I think I was playing Uncharted 4. I never played. I don't have the PSN Plus, but I focused on the story, and that took another month. Oh no, yeah, I played Warcraft, the Rise of the Tomb Raider. But anyways, I play all these games, but I just don't play them online.
Yeah, I think it's because you mostly stick to single player games, and lately I've been doing that as well. Like for me, online playing like these shooters, like I've been done with Call of Duty for like the past 4 years. I have not touched a Call of Duty game in 4 years.
I wish I had your restraint. I say that every year. I'm never buying it again. Yeah. Every single that comes out.
It's just to me, it's just the same formula. All they added. Okay, now this year was what space. Like, it's not a lot of new things, and to me, I just got tired of that. What else? So a lot of these shooters, like Battlefield, is interesting. Battlefield 1, my brother has that, so that seems like a fun game. I haven't yet.
Yeah, Battlefield's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's more my liking. But then again, going online, and I really don't like playing with a bunch of strangers. I'd rather play with people I know, and they actually work together. And there's not a lot of people that I know that play those games online. I don't want to have that chaos that you had in Ghost Recon Wildlands.
Like I said, if it wasn't for having to get the achievement, I would have quit as soon as I started. But I had to get it.
But Javier is a diehard Nintendo fan. He's owned every piece of Nintendo hardware, even the portable ones. I used to, but the last Nintendo hardware I owned was not the GameCube, the Wii, and I got the Wii as a hand-me-down. I didn't even buy it myself.
Yeah, ever since the GameCube, I bought every system. When it comes to portable, I don't buy like every iteration of it. Like I had the 3DS, and then I got the XL one. I didn't buy the new 3DS. I didn't do that. I mean, I love the Nintendo games, but I do play PC and PS4. I remember when back PlayStation 3 was my first PlayStation system. PlayStation 2, my brother had it, and I played it a little bit. But PS2 was my first introduction to something not Nintendo. Well, besides playing PC, I've always played PC. But yeah, basically my world outside of Nintendo is Sony and Steam. And Steam has been it's been great. They do release sales. I have a bunch of games on Steam.
I'm gonna tell you a little bit about Steam. So Steam sends me emails about, hey, look, this game is on your wish list. I go ahead and buy it, but I don't play it. I just have it there because I don't have the fucking time to play. So I have a collection of like 30 or 40 games on Steam that I have not even installed. I just buy them. One day I'm like, okay, I'll get to it. It's been a year and I still haven't even gone to my Steam account.
Yeah, actually I have Steam open. I was just looking at it. I have Dying Light. I bought Dying Light back in 2015.
Oh, I have that on the PlayStation.
I haven't even installed it yet.
That's me, dude. I have so many games not installed that I just buy because they're on sale, like $5, $10. I wait for those sales, and the good thing is that they email you, which is great, and then you get as soon as they email me, like, oh, it's gonna end in like 24 hours. I just go and buy it.
See, I stopped buying as much. I haven't bought actually in a while, and I did have like a 6-month period. I'm like, I'm only playing my Steam games. I'm not buying anything.
Right. I think I should do that.
Yeah, seriously, because I did start hitting a bunch of my games.
Maybe that'll make me, get rid of some of that backlog.
Yeah, even with 6 months, I didn't even finish all my games. But because I still have a few, like I said, Dying Light's one of them. Some others I started, but didn't. I actually didn't like it, so I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm trying to find the one I had last purchase, and I think it was. I can't remember the name of the game. I can't see it on my list here. It's only online, and you play as either a survivor or a serial killer or like the slasher, like kind of like Jason or the Michael Myers or something.
Have
like
you
that.
seen that the trailer or gameplay for that new Friday the 13th game?
No, I heard about it though.
It sure looks interesting. Look it up on YouTube. You're basically, I think it's the first time that you actually play as Jason. So you're actually going around and killing the high schoolers, the high school kids. I think that's
Is it like an online game or is it like story and stuff?
It's gonna come out on Steam, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. I don't believe it's online. I believe you can play single player. It looks really interesting. Like you actually get to play as freaking Jason.
Yeah, this is weird. I can't find that game on my list here. I have it, and I played it quite a bit. I can't believe I forgot the name of it.
Mark, do you own the NES Classic that came out in November?
I do not. I was gonna get one, and then I just didn't get it. One of my buddies actually bought two of them, and I was like, "Oh, that's cool. Let me get one." I was like, "I'll pay you. I'll give you a little bit extra." And he was like, "I'm gonna sell it online." So he sold it to someone for like $300 or whatever it was. Made some money off of it.
Well, Javier and I don't have it as well.
Okay.
And it's gonna be discontinued by the end of this month.
Yeah, I heard that.
So I went online and the prices skyrocketed.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, but I mean, the thing is, from what I understood when it was released, there's no way to connect it to the internet to like ever upgrade it. So whatever it comes with, and like that's it. So
that's it.
Like, why do you really need it? I have an old Nintendo that still works that I play the games on, and any of the games that I even still like to play are available on my Wii that I have. So,
I
whatever
think
money I didn't have to spend.
Nintendo did it as a kind of like, hey, this is something from the back in the days. There's a lot of people that are into retro games these days, and I think they did it just to test the waters. And for whatever reason, they haven't even. I don't think they've come out and flat out said, "Hey, we're gonna discontinue it. This is why." They just said we're discontinuing it because we want to. We're not gonna give anybody a reason. There's theories online.
The biggest speculation is that they're about to release a bunch of retro games on the Switch.
That's what I was reading. That's one theory. Yeah, another theory was that there's one of the licenses of one of the old games. There was a license issue, so they were stopping production because of that. That hasn't really been confirmed. That's just one theory, and I don't even remember what game it was.
I don't think it's a problem.
I don't think it's that. Yeah, but that's just one theory I saw.
Well, the other thing is
makes
that
more
you
sense,
can hack. You can hack that system and get every single NES game. Though.
That's another theory. That the video that came out 2 months ago about showing you how to hack it, more people are starting to do that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think anybody who was getting it was doing that.
Yeah.
Which unlocks like 300 games or something.
It unlocks a ton of games that I think were saved on the actual system. I'm not sure how they hack.
I'm not sure how the hack goes. I don't think it's on the system. I think you have to
download the ROMs.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We don't condone that, by the way. Hint, hint.
Yeah.
What about the?
That's what I just mentioned. I never bought it because I have the RetroCon.
Oh, that's right. You did.
I don't think most people know what that is.
The RetroCon 5.
Yeah, it's a console that you could play NES, SNES, Sega Genesis, Game Boy, and Famicom on it. So I have no reason to get it besides for the hacking. But the only side effect about this is you have to buy the physical copy of the games. So I have to go to used game stores.
You have to hunt that down.
Yeah, I have to hunt them down. And some of those games could be worth quite a bit. Just like I remember watching a documentary on Amazon about it. People were paying up the ass for.
I think it was called Nintendo Quest. I told you about it, or you told me about it.
No, you told me about that one. Yeah, I remember the rarest game was like $10,000 or something like that.
Did the guy ever buy that game?
I think he sold it. He never said what price, but he sold them at a better price.
Shit, dude, that guy was insane. He bought every single Nintendo game ever made. I think it was like 600 games.
I thought it was like 300 something. But it's a ton of games, whatever the amount
I
is.
think it was closer to 600. What was
Yeah.
What was the things that you wanted to talk about the Nintendo Direct?
Oh yeah, the Nintendo Direct. That came out. Basically, the biggest two bits of news out of that is Splatoon 2 and ARMS. They did showcase a bunch of other games people were excited about, like the Street Fighter game that's going to come out for the Switch. And I don't think, they did not even mention Mario Kart, or maybe they did, but not like in great depth or anything. The Street Fighter game actually does look pretty cool. It's Street Fighter 2, but like online play is enabled, and a few more features and fighters are added to it. It looks pretty cool, to be honest. But anyways, besides that game, they focused on ARMS. When I saw ARMS initially, I didn't think anything of it. But the Nintendo Direct really showcased more of it, and you're like, oh, this actually seems pretty cool. So basically what it is, kind of looks like a boxing game, except you don't just, it's not like regular boxing. The arms extend to an exaggerated amount, and so there's some delay in punching. And each glove will have its own power, and you can customize it the way you want it. And each fighter does their own special techniques. So it comes off like Overwatch, but you're not shooting, you're punching them.
Right.
And the punching techniques seem to differ based on the gloves you choose. And like I said, you could combine them with different ones, so you can have two different gloves on that do different things. I know they gave some recently. Nintendo invited some pro gamers, some competitive fighting game players to play the game out, and they liked it. And it seems to be something that could be bigger than we think.
Watching that, if I were to ever, well, not ever, I'll most likely I'll get a Switch at some point down the line. I'll probably be getting that game. That game seems interesting.
Yeah, so I was like actually sold on that game now. And then the other one they talked about, Splatoon 2. I was sold as soon as they announced it, because I was a big fan of Splatoon on the Wii U. That was, to me, the biggest hit for me on the Wii U. That's the game I keep on going back to play.
That's another thing that they came to me when I saw that Nintendo Direct conference, and they showed that Splatoon. I think it was called Salmon King. Is like a DLC or something, some kind of.
No. So what that is a new game mode. So you can do like team matches and stuff. This is another one.
Yeah. Well,
it's called Salmon Run.
Right. That alone sold me on that game, and that's probably a game that I would actually try out.
Yeah. So that Salmon Run is basically you have to fight waves of enemies, and some of those waves will have tougher enemies in it, and there's going to be a final boss in it that's pretty tough. And for completing the Salmon Run, you will get rewards, which they did not go into details about. But they're basically saying there'll be some cool prizes if you actually beat it. So if you want to play online and you don't want to do the competitive team versus team kind of matches, you just do this kind of co-op game where you fight waves of enemies and get prizes out of it, which seems like a great addition, because that's what Splatoon really lacked. It was basically just story, and then you did team matches. There was two different types of team matches, but you always face each other. There was no like co-op for the first Splatoon. And I played the test fire that happened in March as well. So I downloaded Splatoon 2, like a test fire version of it, and played it for. They had certain times you had to play it, probably for stress testing the servers, I would imagine. But I played at two different time intervals, and had tons of fun. And I posted some pictures on our Twitter account.
Mark,
you don't have a Switch, do you?
No, I don't.
Are you planning on getting one?
I see. That's one of those things where, like, I would like one. If I didn't have a child, I probably would. But just not enough time in the day. Between all my wrestling and other games that I play.
Yeah. That's understandable. Do you have any other things about the Nintendo Direct?
Not really. That's to me, that's the big thing. The big two things was those two games I just mentioned, the Street Fighter. There was a bunch of 3DS releases they mentioned. The Wii U, obviously, they're ignoring at this point because they stopped productions on that.
Already.
They didn't mention the Nintendo Classic, but there's no reason for them to mention it in their Nintendo Direct. It's just not going to be there anymore. They they have teased that E3 will be a big year for them, and I'm going to E3, so I'm excited to see what they actually do there. So if you pay attention to our Twitter, while I'm at E3, I'll post some pictures or what I've seen or what excitement's happening at E3, which is going to be in June 13 to I think 16.
Yeah, the only other thing that I had was that last week on April 13th was the 25th anniversary of The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past for the Super Nintendo. One of the biggest games that system had. I consider it one of the best Zelda games ever released.
Yeah, definitely.
What else here? Oh, I was going to ask you.
They announced two more amiibos.
Oh Jesus! Don't get me on those amiibo shit, man. You know that action figures. Come on, man, for the Nintendo. Oh, I was gonna ask you guys. Did you guys see the Star Wars: The Last Jedi trailer?
I did. Knowing that you're a Star Wars fan, this probably isn't going to be the popular comment, but I still haven't seen the last movie yet.
Which one? You mean Rogue One?
Yeah, Rogue One. I haven't seen yet.
That's fine. It doesn't really pertain to the actual canon of the Force Awakens. You did see that one, I'm assuming.
Oh, yeah. It's canon, but a different timeline.
Right. It's just a prequel, the Rogue One.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's everything that happened up until the beginning of Episode 4.
Gotcha. Yeah, I saw it. I need a refresher though, because I haven't seen. I mean, I went and saw the Force Awakens when it first came out in theaters, and then I was so behind on the Star Wars stuff. I didn't really get into it until about a year ago. Okay. And actually right before the Force Awakens, because I watched them all, and then I was my mind was just rolling. I was I have no idea what's going on with all these movies.
What did you think of the trailer?
Me?
It looked pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry. I think it looked cool too. Like I said, I need to watch it again. I've only watched it the one time, but yeah, I'm curious to see what they do. I hope this is right. This is the one with Luke in it, right? And the girl, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm curious to see what's going on with all that stuff. So I don't know enough to talk about it, but I'm excited for it.
Oh, that's good. At least their marketing did the right thing by getting people to go watch it.
Yep.
Javier, how about you?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool, and excited to see what happens with it. I mean, it didn't show too much. Besides, oh look, you see that Luke Skywalker is teaching, and other stuff happens.
Yeah, there's an interesting comparison video on YouTube where they actually put side by side this new the recent teaser trailer for The Last Jedi and the teaser trailer for The Force Awakens that came out a couple years ago, and it's pretty much the same setup. It starts off with the face of said character, and the comparison is pretty interesting if you want to look it up on YouTube. But I think it's great. You see a lot more of where they're kind of taking the storyline without giving a lot away, because again it's just a teaser. You're only seeing a minute and 50 seconds of it. So it's interesting because at the end what has the internet talking is that the last line where Luke says the Jedi will come to an end. That was a great way to end that trailer, and it makes you think what does he mean by that? How are they going to come to an end? So I thought that was a great way to end the trailer.
I'm pretty sure Jar Jar Binks is going to come back as a Sith
and kill everybody. That fucking Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah, I remember when that was a thing. I forgot where, but someone talked about it, and they're like, "Yeah, they came up with this whole theory or just a storyline where Jar Jar Binks was just plain dumb, and at the right moment, he killed much of the Jedi, and then went back to being dumb again. He's like the real Sith Lord or something."
Really?
Yeah, he tricked everybody. Everybody thought he was this dumb asshole, but no. He was truly the strongest of them all.
Well, let's
fan theories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's wrap this up. So I wanted to ask, Mark,
Yeah.
You have a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
What? Tell us a little bit about yourself first. So, where are you from exactly?
All right. I live in New Jersey. Born and raised here, South Jersey. I live right outside of Atlantic City. If anybody's heard of it, it's one of the biggest gambling spots on the East Coast. Yeah, me and my buddy started a podcast. We actually one year I went out for my birthday and we didn't have a designated driver. Right. And one of my other friends was like, "Oh, I know this kid, Sebastian." I was like, "Hey, whatever, sure." I was like, as long as he's gonna, don't get wasted and drive us home, cool, whatever, I don't care. So I met him that night. This was probably like 4 years ago, I want to say. Met him that night. He drove us to the club, drove us back. Couple weeks later, I'm in the club and I'm dancing on the wall, up against the wall, and this guy bumps into me, and I'm not a real confrontational person. I turn around, I'm like, "Yo, who the fuck? Who's bumping me like this?" I look over and it's him. So we're both dancing with the guy. I was like, "Oh, what's up, bro?" I was like, "Yo, let me get your number." I was like, "Hit me up sometime. We'll get together, whatnot." Just BSing.
Right.
And then a couple weeks after that, his family up and moved to Florida. So he needed a place to stay, and I was like, "Yo, I got you. Come stay with me. I got my apartment. You come live with me for a little bit, so you figure out what's going on."
Right.
We lived together for 2 years, and then he moved to Florida to be with his family. So, life took us separate ways, but I was like, "Dude, you know what? Let's do this. We've been talking about this forever because me and him always BS, and we think we're hilarious." And I was like, "Dude, let's just record it." I was like, "If somebody gets enjoyment out of it, whatever. If not," I was like, "it keeps us in touch. It gives us a reason to hang out every week and." Right. Keep up with each other so we don't drift apart. So we started it. It's kind of similar to you guys. We talk sports, wrestling, video games, comic books, anything. We don't really say we're not going to talk about stuff except political stuff because we don't really we don't know enough about it to give honest or good opinions, I would say.
Yeah.
So we try to keep the political stuff out of it. But yeah, it's Amp Nation Podcast. You can find us on Twitter. We just get together and BS. Our shows are a little long sometimes, but like I said, it's just me and him getting together and just talking about whatever we feel like. So
yeah, I've heard of a couple of your episodes. Very, very fun. I like the way you guys go back and forth. What do you guys have consistency, or you guys just do it? You guys get together and record a session whenever you guys have time.
So when we first started, we were like, we're going to do this every week. Every Sunday night is going to be our thing. And then just life gets in the way sometimes. I have a 2-year-old daughter. He's in the process of moving down in Florida again. His lease ran out on his apartment, so he moved back with his parents. And it really depends. If we can get together and record, we try to do it. We say we're going to do it every week. It never happens. So we try to do every 2 weeks, and then sometimes that falls through too. Right. We were actually supposed to record this past weekend, and then he had something to do, and I was with my daughter, so it didn't work out. But yeah, I mean, whenever we can get together, we do it, and that's why I think that's usually why our episodes are so long, is because we have so much to talk about.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's we try to be consistent with it, but we're not.
Yeah, no, I definitely understand the consistency because I Javier and I tried to do it weekly, and it's at times it just gets really hectic. Working our schedules, like, okay, when are you available? And then he has plans or I have plans. It just so far we've done it. Javier, would you say we've done it weekly except for maybe 1 or 2 times?
Well, in terms of the podcast itself, it is weekly. Sometimes you have two a week.
Right.
You and me recording, not every week. Most weeks though.
Oh, you're right. I think
when you miss 2 or 3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right. I think what I tend to do is try to do it weekly, because I also have a couple friends and my cousins and my brothers. We get together and we do that session called the episode's called Wise Guys, which is just a bunch of guys talking guy stuff. Whatever it is, politics. We even talk about sex, movies. We talk about MMA. Anything that comes that guys, when the guys get together and they talk about, we pretty much cover. And that's our episodes titled Wise Guys. So those, as soon as we record those, which I think we were recording those once a month or twice a month. Then the other times that I don't do those, I'm recording with Javier.
Gotcha. Yeah,
Yeah.
see, my problem is I don't know how to do the editing. I could probably figure it out. I mean, I know it's probably not the hardest thing in the world, but it's easier for me to just let him record everything, do the editing, and post it.
Oh,
And
okay.
then there's times where like he'll record it and edit it, and then he don't post it for like a week after we recorded it.
Oh, okay.
I don't know when he posted the WrestleMania preview that we did, but we did that the day of WrestleMania. Like we were on our way to Orlando,
Yeah, you
and
guys were
then
in the
it
car,
was like,
right?
yeah, we were driving because we kept saying all week long, we were like, yo, we got to get together, we got to do this preview before I come down, yeah. And then you see what happens.
Yeah.
Literally an hour before we started tailgating, we're recording an episode.
Yeah.
Good.
I think he posted it April, like literally only a week after.
Okay. Which isn't too bad, but
yeah,
I mean,
it
for
wasn't
the
that
WrestleMania preview to be a week after WrestleMania,
yeah,
like
yeah.
I always bust his balls for that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So I guess when it comes to Javier and I do the editing, and it is time consuming, but it's I find fun because I get to hear it again, and I just laugh at the stuff that we say, and it's pretty much
a quick note on that. Mm-hmm. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but when we did our very first episode, we recorded for probably like 2 hours, and he goes, "Yeah, I'm gonna edit it tomorrow." He's like, "And I'll post it up." Da, 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 da. So I was like, "All right, cool." So the next day I wake up and I'm waiting for him to post it like all day long, and he finally texts me and he's like, "Bro," he's like, "I have bad news," and I was like, "Oh, tell me he don't know how to do it or something." Well, somehow his computer deleted his audio, so when he records it, it's 2 separate files. So he just lays my audio on top of his, and it deleted his audio, so all he had was me talking.
Oh shit!
And I was like, dude, send it to me. I was like, I gotta hear myself just rambling, like answering stuff, and like it would be like dead silence, and you hear like, yeah, I agree.
we had a similar incident. Javier, was it episode 3?
Can't remember.
That we recorded, and I thought I hit record, and I forgot to hit record.
I think that's what he did, but he swears it was deleted. So.
I forgot to hit record, so I told Javier, dude, you're fucking gonna kill me, man. And he's like, what? I'm like, I didn't record it. And Javier's like, shit, we talked for like an hour. So we ended up actually coming back like a couple days later and re-recording it, but it was much shorter. At that point, we were like, fuck it. That's why I think episode 3 was our shittiest episode. It was the shortest one. We just wanted to get it done and over with. Like, we didn't even give a shit at that point for that episode. But I noticed, I was trying to go back to the Amp Nation. I have it on iTunes. I don't see episode 1, 2, and 3 there. I'm not sure what's up with that. Could it have been removed by your friend? Oh man, hello?
The call dropped. I don't know.
His call dropped?
No, I'm just picking up.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. I muted it for a second.
Oh, okay. I was like,
sorry.
No, it's okay.
I was talking. I was like, he goes, I think the call dropped. I was like, what do you mean? I'm listening.
Oh, okay.
No, I think the way my website is set up, it rolls like the episodes. So once there's too many to fit on one page, I don't think it posts to iTunes anymore, which we actually need to look into.
Oh, okay. No problem. I was just curious.
Our first episode was like part of episode 1 redo or something like that because of that.
Oh, okay, gotcha. All right. And your friend is Sebastian.
Yeah, Sebastian.
Got it. Yeah, so pretty much the same explanation that you gave. That's pretty much what Javier and I decided to do. We decided to do because I listen to a lot of podcasts, so that's one thing that gets me through my day at work. On my drive to work, on my drive home, it's just podcasts. When I go to the gym, mostly podcasts. Some music, but mostly podcasts. And I decided, you know what? These people do it, and they say it's easy. Why not? Why not start it? So I had that idea around November. I didn't actually start it until like late January, early February. I started buying the equipment. And I asked Javier, hey, would you do it with me? He's like, yeah, sure. It's easier from what I've read that's to have someone, to just talk back and forth with. I've heard of people doing it themselves. So that's why we started it. Yeah, so it was nice talking to Mark here. His Twitter is at AmpNationPod. You guys can follow him and check him out on iTunes. And Javier, is there anything else you want to say before we wrap it up?
Have fun.
Have fun. All right, guys. Talk to you later. All right, so the last couple of minutes, Mark had a little emergency. He had to leave quickly, and later told us everything's okay. So all is well. I wanted to thank again Mark for joining us. He's from Amp Nation. I'm gonna include his links from his Twitter on the description of this episode. And I wanted to thank you all for listening to this, and can always follow us at Twitter. Bits for You Podcast is our Twitter handle. Same goes for Facebook at Bits for You Podcast. You can email us at bitsforyoupodcast@gmail.com. After the word bits, it's the number 4. And please rate us and review us on iTunes. It helps us a lot. The way their algorithm is set up is that the more reviews a particular podcast gets, the more they will promote that on their iTunes website, on the app if you're using an iPhone, iPod, if you are one of the few million people that still use one. Other places you can listen to us is Google Play Music. That's Google's their station or app to listen to music and podcasts. Another one is Stitcher and PodBean.